Well, how well do we really know who we're talking to online? Despite the podcast and Netflix series Dirty John shining a light on how easy it can be to fall for a con artist, reports of deceit through online dating have risen compared to this time last year.
I met John online. He made me feel wonderful. It was the best feeling in the world.
His profile said that he was single, a doctor, everything you want to see in a man.
John was very attractive, very, very charming.
I knew he was trying to hurt my mom, hurt my family. I hated John.
He broke me in half. I was a good person.
Hi, Mom.
He's going to turn on you and destroy your life.
Wow, so in this convenient era of just swiping right, how do we keep ourselves safe? Well, cyber safety expert Yasmin London joins us now to talk more about this. Yasmin, great to see you. Thanks for coming in. I suppose the first question is, what signs should we look out for when we're chatting to someone online?
Oh, look, there's a lot of red flags that you can look out for. Things like overly intrusive questions or weird things that you're being asked. If they know things about you that you haven't volunteered yourself, it's sort of showing that they've looked you up. I've got a bit of a saying that too thick, too quick doesn't stick. So if they're professing their love for you really early on in the piece, that's sort of a bit of a problem. Yeah, right. And I suppose the number one thing is listening to your gut. That's your number one tool in your online dating toolbox, so you really should pay attention to that.
But if you're a lonely person, that can be quite captivating, somebody telling you that they love you, asking you questions about yourself. Should we be on the lookout for our loved ones who might be vulnerable to that?
Oh, absolutely. I think we should always be involving our family and friends in our dating lives to a degree. When we're emotionally involved, you know, we can sort of have the shutters down and be a bit blinded by that. So an outside opinion is really important.
But let's say you're doing this, you're interacting with somebody, it's going really well, and then they go too fast, too soon, you smell a rat, you go, right, how do I back out of this? Do I ghost them? What's the thing do I have to do?
Ghosting is not a great idea, but I think just honesty is the best policy. It's sometimes not as easy as going, look, I'm just not that into you anymore.
Just say, hey, Dirty John, this isn't going to happen. How about that?
It's not on. But look, just being direct, and, you know, if they're not getting the picture by what you're trying to say, you know, talk to them about how their behaviour is making you feel. If they still don't get the picture, you know, you can always block them, or if you're feeling unsafe or harassed, there's always the police that you can go to.
OK, so what are some easy tips? If you're online, you're not sure, you're not necessarily getting a bad feeling, but you want to make sure you're not being sucked in. Yeah. What are some easy tips to work out whether someone's legitimate or not?
Look, involving your family, as I said, number one, is a really good thing, but there's some things that you can do, like a Google reverse image search, for example. So
how do you do that?
So you take their picture, their profile picture, and you can drag and drop it into the Google search bar. There's a little image search icon on the top right-hand side. So if you drag and drop it in there, it'll bring up sort of the fingerprint of that particular picture. Now, if they're dodgy or they've been reported before, it's likely that that will come up through that picture. Okay. So we should make sure that we're doing those sorts of checks. You can do what's called a Boolean search. Rather than putting their name into the general search bar, you put it in apostrophes and write in capital letters and Sydney and a location, and it'll give you a more refined search result.
Whoa. Okay, so let's think this is going well, and you think, all right, I like this person, I want to go meet them, I've swiped right or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What's the best way to do this and still be safe?
You have to tell someone about where you're going. That's just number one rule.
Don't give them your address.
Exactly. Don't give them your address. Don't give them your work address as well. You know, go slow. Just give them little bit by little bit until you feel comfortable.
Don't go to a place you always go to either.
Absolutely. Make sure you drive there. You know, sometimes going out on dates, we can drink a little bit too much, and that can make us a little bit vulnerable.
Should you tell, like, a girlfriend or a guy friend to say, hey, after 2 hours or an hour and a half, can you call me? Yeah, or just go text, say, hey, where are you? We're all hanging out, and do a fake sort of thing?
Oh, look, you can do that. If that's something that makes you feel comfortable, I think the overarching message is just do some things to make sure that people know where you are, know who you're meeting and what the background of the situation is.
Money's a big one too. People get sucked into all these money scams and they end up sending money to someone who they think is in love with them, who needs help.
Yeah, that can happen. My advice would be never send money over the internet. There are people as well that will search for things that you might have posted on social media in the past. So if you've lamented losing money or wanting to win the lotto, for example, there are people out there that are searching for that sort of information that, you know, they're going to find you vulnerable and they're going to target you and you won't even know that it's happening.
Wow, Yasmin, some great information there. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.